Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about that space between two hearts. Not the space of distance, but the space of quiet understanding. That electric, unspoken conversation happening right beneath the words. Have you ever been there? In that place with someone where everything is said, and yet nothing is said at all. We're going to explore 4 signs that you both are standing in that sacred, trembling space of mutual feeling, where both of you see the truth, but neither of you has yet spoken it into the room. First, the language of the body. When words are absent, the body becomes the most honest storyteller. Notice it. The way you both naturally orient toward each other in a crowded room, like 2 compass needles finding true north. The mirrored gestures, a sip of a drink, a tilt of the head, as if you're dancing to a song only you can hear. This isn't just politeness. This is a silent dialogue. Your bodies are already in conversation, saying, here is my focus. Here is my comfort. Here is where I feel seen. Second, the sanctuary of vulnerability. With this person, your guard doesn't just lower, it disappears. You share a quiet disappointment from your day, a silly childhood memory, a hope that feels fragile in the light. And they hold it with such tenderness. And they offer you a piece of their own heart in return. You create a private world, a sanctuary, where the masks you wear for everyone else simply melt away. You are not performing. You are simply being. And in that being, you are accepted. That is the soil where deep feeling grows. Third, the echo of future dreams. Listen carefully to your conversations. Are you building hypothetical worlds together? You would love this book. I should lend it to you. If you ever go to that city, I know the perfect spot. It's the subtle weaving of your futures into a single tapestry. You're not just sharing a present moment, you're gently, cautiously, inviting each other into a tomorrow. You are writing a story in your minds, chapter by chapter, without ever naming the title. And fourth, the vocabulary of avoidance. Now, this one is so important. What you don't say speaks volumes. The careful dance around the word, quas. The gentle deflection when others tease. The way you both actively protect this unlabeled thing between you from definition, because to define it might break the spell, or make it too real, too soon. You are both the guardians of this secret, even from each other. The very thing you avoid naming is the very thing that has already taken root. If you recognize this, if you are living in this space of beautiful, terrifying silence, know this: you are standing on the brink of something profound. That tension you feel. It's not just anxiety. It is the hum of possibility. It is the sound of 2 hearts trying to synchronize before either mouth finds the courage to speak. This unspoken agreement is a testament to how much you both value what is happening. You are protecting it. But remember, a seed, no matter how cherished, must finally break open in the dark earth to reach for the sun. So, today, I ask you to simply acknowledge the truth you already know. Breathe into that space. Feel its reality. The first admission is not to the other person, it is to your own soul. And once that admission is made, the universe has a way of leaning in, of conspiring with your courage, because what you are feeling, that potent, undeniable energy, is the most real thing in the world, and real things are always meant to be lived. The most profound truth of a mutual, but unspoken attraction, lives not in the words exchanged, but in the rich and fertile silence that exists between them. This is the first and most important sign to understand. We often believe that feelings are declared only through grand confessions or explicit phrases. Yet the human heart in its vulnerability and hope possesses a far more subtle and powerful vocabulary. When 2 people share a hidden depth of feeling, the air around them changes. It becomes charged with a gentle electricity, a palpable hum of awareness that both are acutely tuned into. This space between you is not empty. It is brimming with an entire conversation that needs no sound. It is the look held a moment too long that carries the weight of an unasked question. It is the laughter that seems to resonate on a private frequency, known only to the 2 of you. This unspoken dialogue creates a world of its own, a bubble, where time slows and the noise of everything else simply fades into the background. You are communicating in a language older than speech, one built on instinct and feeling, and the magnetic pull of genuine connection. Every quiet moment together becomes a sentence. Every shared glance becomes a paragraph in a story you are both writing without a single pen. The silence is not awkward. It is deep and comfortable and full. It is the space where you can hear the truth loud and clear precisely, because nothing is being said aloud to distort it. You are both speaking and listening at the same time, sending and receiving signals on a channel reserved just for this unique connection. This is why the presence of this powerful quiet is the foundational sign. It means you have moved beyond the superficial chatter of acquaintanceship and into the realm of true emotional resonance. You are no longer just sharing information. You are sharing an experience. You are building something word by precious wordless word. To stand in this silence with someone is to recognize that you are both participants in the same beautiful secret. You are both authors of the same untold story. The very fact that you can stand together in that quiet, without the need to fill it with nervous talk, proves the strength and comfort of your bond. It is in this sacred unspoken space that the most honest part of the relationship exists. It is where attraction transforms from a simple thought into a shared lived reality. Pay deep attention to that quiet. Listen to what it is telling you. For in that silence your hearts have already begun to speak. The body is an oracle of unconscious truth, a faithful narrator of the heart's quietest desires, when the mind is not yet ready to give them voice. This is the profound evidence of the second sign, where attraction manifests not in declarations but in a silent, physical dialogue that neither party can fully control. When two people share an unacknowledged depth of feeling, their bodies often conspire to tell the story their lips will not. This conversation happens in a language of instinct and subtle mirroring, a dance of alignment that speaks volumes about mutual focus and comfort. You will notice it in the way you both naturally turn toward each other in a room full of people, your shoulders squaring up as if pulled by an invisible thread, creating a private axis in the public space. This postural echo is the body's way of declaring where its attention lies, of building a fortress for two amid the crowd. It appears in the mirrored gestures, the almost simultaneous reach for a glass, the shared lean back into a chair, the crossing of legs in the same direction, a synchronization that feels less like imitation and more like harmony. This mirroring is a neurological handshake, a sign of deep rapport and unconscious agreement, indicating that you are both riding the same emotional wavelength. Then there is the territory of touch, the accidental brushes that linger just a fraction longer than necessary, the hand on the back to guide through a doorway that stays a moment beyond its practical purpose. These are not mistakes but quiet proclamations, tiny breaches in the professional or friendly barrier that let a spark of something more intimate slip through. The eyes, of course, are the most eloquent storytellers in this silent symphony. It is the gaze that finds you from across the room and holds you with a soft intensity. The look that meets yours after a joke, sharing a secret meaning no one else understood. The quick dart away when the connection feels too exposed, followed inevitably by its gentle return. This dance of eye contact builds a bridge of mutual recognition, a visual caress that says, "I see you, and I know you see me." Even the space between you becomes charged with meaning, the personal bubble that comfortably collapses when you are together. The leaning in so no word is missed, the absence of the rigid barriers we keep for others. Your bodies are simply more at home in each other's presence, seeking proximity as naturally as plants lean toward the light. This entire physical lexicon operates beneath the level of conscious thought, which is why it is so powerfully honest. You cannot fully orchestrate this ballet of subtle movements. It is the output of genuine attraction and comfort. To observe this in yourself and in the other person is to witness a truth being acted out in real time. It is a conversation happening in the open, yet hidden in plain sight. A story told through posture and proximity, glance and gesture. When the words are withheld, the body becomes the primary author, and its narrative is one of alignment, attraction, and a quiet, magnetic pull that is, in itself, a form of admission. When you are in the company of someone where a powerful, but unspoken connection exists, your conversations will naturally begin to bend toward the future, not in a forced or grandiose way, but with a gentle, persistent gravity. This is the quiet architecture of hope being built word by word, a subtle weaving of your individual tomorrows into a shared tapestry of possibility. You will notice it in the casual, effortless invitations that paint you both into a scene yet to come. It sounds like I know a perfect little bookstore you would love. I should take you there sometime. Or you have to try this coffee place, we should go next weekend. These are not merely suggestions for activities, they are quiet blueprints for continued closeness. The language shifts from the past and present into the soft subjunctive mood of what could be. You find yourselves building hypothetical worlds, together playing a game of mental make-believe that feels anything but imaginary. What if we opened a bakery in a small town by the sea, you might muse. And they will not dismiss the fantasy, instead they will lean in and begin to decorate it with you, adding details about the kind of chairs you would have, or the smell of the salt air. This collaborative dreaming is a profound act of intimacy. It means you are not just interested in who the other person is now, but deeply curious about who they might become, and more importantly, who you might become together. Your stories start to merge. You reference a personal goal of theirs days or weeks, later remembering it as if it were a shared concern. You celebrate their future victories in advance and offer comfort for their anticipated challenges as if you have already pledged to be there for them. The timeline of your life begins to implicitly include them. When you talk about your own plans a year from now, there is a space held in the narrative where they could plausibly fit. You might say, I am thinking of going to that concert in the fall, and the unasked question that hangs in the air is a silent invitation. These are not promises, they are possibilities, but they are possibilities you are deliberately crafting as a pair. This forward dreaming is the heart's way of test driving a shared life. It is a safe space to explore compatibility and commitment without the terrifying weight of a formal label. Every time you say we in a future context, even about something trivial, you are conducting a delicate experiment in unity. You are whispering to each other's subconscious, I am imagining a tomorrow with you in it. This echo of future dreams is perhaps the most courageous of all the signs, because is the mind beginning to make peace with the heart's desire. It is the logical self catching up to the emotional truth and starting to plan for it. To build these castles in the air together is to admit without admitting that you do not want this connection to be a temporary artifact of the present. You are both quietly, sincerely hoping it becomes the foundation of everything that comes next. Consider the delicate and telling vocabulary of what is deliberately left unsaid, for it often speaks far louder than any direct statement ever could. This is the realm of the fourth sign, where the presence of powerful mutual feelings is most cleverly betrayed by a joint and conscious effort to avoid naming them at all. You will navigate an intricate dance around the very subject that occupies your every thought. Conversations will brush against the edge of the truth, only to swiftly and mutually veer away, as if by unspoken agreement. When a moment becomes too charged with potential, when a look lasts a second too long and threatens to tip the balance, you will both become masters of the graceful deflection. You might fill the sudden quiet with a joke or abruptly comment on the weather, redirecting the energy back into safer, more neutral territory. This is not dishonesty. This is preservation. It is the tacit understanding that to speak the thing into existence is to change it forever. And in this fragile formative stage, that change feels perilous. You become co-guardians of a precious secret, a secret you are keeping even from each other. There is a careful editing of language, a deliberate choice of words that maintains a plausible deniability. You might say, "I always have such a great time with you," instead of "I am falling for you." You might say, "You mean so much to me," instead of "I am in love with you." These phrases are true, but they are fortresses built to contain a much larger truth. You will also notice a shared resistance to external labeling. If a friend or colleague teasingly implies there is something more between you, both of you will quickly, perhaps too quickly, shut it down with synchronized protests. This unified front against outside observation is not a rejection of the feeling, but a fierce protection of it. You are saying this is ours to define in our own time. The avoidance extends to the future as well. While you happily dream together in hypotheticals, any concrete planning that feels too much like a formal date or a defined commitment might be softened with vague language or postponed indefinitely. It is as if you are both saying, "I want you in my future, but I am not yet ready to sign the contract." This dance of avoidance is exhausting and exhilarating in equal measure. It requires immense energy to continually hold something so large at bay. Yet within that very exhaustion lies the proof of the feeling's magnitude. You would not work so hard to manage something insignificant. The elephant in the room is not ignored. It is fed and cared for and nervously acknowledged with sideways glances, all while you both pretend it is not there. This collective silence then becomes its own form of communication. It is a language that says what we have is too important to risk with a wrong word. It says, "I am so terrified of losing this that I would rather live in its shadow than chance it disappearing in the light." The very thing you are avoiding is the very center of gravity in your relationship. Therefore, pay close attention to what you are not saying and what they are not asking for. In that quiet, negotiated space lies the unspoken admission you are both too afraid to make. The palpable tension you feel in that space between acknowledgement and silence is not a flaw in the connection. It is its very life force. This exquisite discomfort, this hum of suspended possibility, is the fifth and most transformative sign. It is crucial to reframe this nervous energy, not as anxiety to be eradicated, but as the natural resonance of two hearts, trying to synchronize their rhythm, before either voice finds the courage to lead the song. This tension is the sound of potential. It is the vibrant, electric static in the air before a summer storm breaks, full of a promise that is both thrilling and awe-inspiring. That flutter in your stomach, the heightened awareness of their proximity, the way time seems to stretch and contract in their presence. These are not symptoms of fear alone. They are the physiological proof of something significant taking root. Your spirit recognizes a profound opportunity for happiness, for connection, for love, and it sends these signals through your entire being as a wake-up call. This energy is the friction required for motion. Without it, there would only be platonic calm or indifference. The very fact that you feel this charged anticipation means the situation is alive with meaning. It is the creative void from which something new and beautiful is begging to be born. This shared tension also operates as a silent dialogue of mutual respect. It signifies that you both understand the stakes. You are not treating this connection lightly or carelessly. The careful pace, the measured words, the protective silence, all speak to a shared understanding that what is brewing between you is fragile and valuable. You are both, in a sense, holding your breath over the same precious artifact, afraid that a sudden move might shatter it. This synchronized hesitation is a form of reverence. It is important to sit with this feeling and understand its source. The tension does not come from the fear of a no. It springs from the terrifying, magnificent prospect of a heist. It is the vertigo you feel standing on the edge of a great height, not because you are afraid of the ground below, but because you are captivated by the vast, breathtaking view of what could be. This energy is the engine of change. It is what will eventually compel one of you, when the moment feels irresistibly right, to gently break the silence. That first tentative admission, when it finally comes, will be powered by the very energy You are now learning to decipher, so do not wish this tension away. Do not misname it as mere nervousness. Listen to it. Honor it. It is the vibrational frequency of a door waiting to be opened. It is the quiet, powerful hum of a mutual truth gathering the strength to step into the light. This charged space between you is not a barrier. It is the bridge, and the tension is the force that will eventually carry you across. So, here you are, standing in that sacred space between knowing and saying. You have learned to listen to the quiet language of the body, to recognize the sanctuary you have built in your vulnerability. You have caught yourselves weaving a shared future with your words, and felt the profound weight of what you so carefully avoid naming. And you are learning, I hope, to reinterpret that exquisite tension not as a warning, but as the very hum of possibility itself. What you have between you is not a problem to be solved. It is a story waiting for its next sentence. It is a truth that already lives and breathes in the glances you exchange, in the laughter that is yours alone, in the private world that exists whenever you are together. That truth is already real. The only thing left is to bring it into the light, to give it a voice. Remember, the first and most important admission is not to the other person. It is the quiet, courageous acknowledgement you make to yourself in the mirror of your own soul. It is saying, this is real for me. Once you own that truth within yourself, the universe shifts. It aligns with your courage. That silent understanding you share is the strongest foundation you could ever have. You have already done the hardest part. You have found each other on this invisible frequency. Do not let fear of the words rob you of the wonder. Do not let the beauty of the unspoken become a prison. That delicate, precious thing you are both protecting is strong enough to be spoken. It is resilient enough to bear the weight of its own name. Take a deep breath into that space you have created. Feel its reality, and trust that the same courage that brought you both to this silent understanding will guide you to the next, beautiful, spoken word. Your hearts are already in agreement. It is time to let your voices catch up.